it gives us the framework to set up what would be the next step, which would be like an actual call to see like, okay, is this right for you? Because we also are not here to just like, take anybody, any idea. We want to make sure that you're at a place that makes sense for an investment of launch, knowing that the goal is to eventually move you to product,
Right.
like move you to physical product, move you to PO, move you to actual true launch.
Do you have a brilliant product idea but don't know where to start to get it made? Or are you looking to level up your product but afraid to take it overseas?
If so, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Jackie.
And I'm Erin, and we are
The Sourcing Gals,
your trusted guides to everything you need to know about sourcing, manufacturing, and scaling your product overseas. Whether you are just starting out or you've been making your own product for a while, we are here to help women source products overseas without the overwhelm.
In each episode, we'll share insider tips, actionable strategies, and inspiring stories to help you source more effectively, save time, and boost your profits.
Duh!
We know how hard it can be to juggle the ins and outs of product development, but don't worry, we've got your back.
So grab a cup of coffee, get comfy, and let's dive into how you can grow your business,
make more money,
and turn your products into profit. Welcome to
The Sourcing Gals. Now let's get started. High five.
Hi. Running a product-based business is complicated enough. Your banking shouldn't be. That's why we use Mercury. It's a free, intuitive banking platform built for entrepreneurs. No monthly fees, and get this, no wire fees ever. Plus, it integrates with QuickBooks, making bookkeeping a breeze. And the best part? Their credit card gives you 1.5% cash back with a holiday bonus of 2.5% cash back on ad spend. Terms do apply. Banking doesn't have to be complicated. Join me and thousands of other founders using Mercury. Learn more and sign up today using the link in the show notes.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Sourcing Gals. We're laughing because this is our second take, and our first take, I just chose to not say The Sourcing Gals I was just staring at your beautiful face and dress.
Let me take it, Erin.
I guess so. But we're excited to have you here today. We are actually going to talk a little bit something different than we traditionally do. We're going to do a little plug in a sense. Really, this was built, it's an offering that we have, and it was built from literally our listeners and clients coming through the door, some saying, I've done your coursework. But I want your point of view.
Right.
Or I get you have coursework, but again, I don't want to do it myself. Like,
take the wheel.
I want you to take the wheel and help determine the viability of this idea, how I move forward. And then we have some clients that come to us and just say, I'm ready for a manufacturer. And then we start probing.
Right.
And asking all the questions that we kind of prompt in our Smart Start Sourcing course. And they might realize, oh, shit, maybe I guess I'm not ready for the manufacturer because I don't know those answers.
Right. And you said something that I want to reiterate is that our Smart Start Sourcing course goes through a lot of these thoughts, but it's completely DIY. You do it on your own time. It's your own work. It's your own investigative research. And when we do launch, we are doing that research on our end, and we are presenting our clients with like a very robust presentation. And the presentation is based on our 40 plus combined years working in this industry, what we see and what we recommend.
So I like to liken it to if a business plan met a product plan.
Yeah.
And they had a little baby. That's basically what launch is. And that's what we're calling it. We call it launch. It's actually an acronym. We're going to take you through the LAUNCH of launch. But truly, it's a little bit, I don't want to say set it and forget it, but this is a full like gold glove service that we offer here at the Sourcing Gals.
I think it takes the founder's attention off of obsessing over getting a manufacturer. And then it just like, it puts a pin in that. Okay, we will get there.
Yep.
But you do have to execute the range of things. And I think when someone's super duper excited, which everybody is, like these things don't seem super sexy. But also once we get into it, then folks are like, oh shit, I either know my product way better now. I can see why I need this before I find a manufacturer because it usually dictates who you source.
100%.
Or oh, I might need to pivot to actually capitalize on the market share that's available to me.
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone that we have taken through and on the other side of launch kind of comes out with like that head blown emoji. Like, I never thought of that. Right. And it's not really changing their product. No. It's expanding their view on who it can serve and how it can serve people beyond just like, oh, I just thought I was going to pop up a little e-commerce brand. It's like, oh no. I mean, how many times have we said, oh no, girl,
oh, no.
like you're meant for Target or like you're meant for Costco or QVC or whatever that is, right? That whatever that selling channel is.
Every grocery store chain in our country.
Correct.
Like, you are meant for bigger things.
Yes.
And we will show you the roadmap and the product plan to execute.
So hopefully we're getting everybody excited to hear about this. So let's get into the L of launch.
I feel like, I was a cheerleader. I should be like an L-A-U. Yeah, I should make a cheer.
I love it. Okay, so here we go. L stands for landscape architecture. This is something as a merchant growing up in corporate retail, we do a lot of things called competitive analysis. Landscape architecture. Basically, it's taking your product and finding all the adjacent people that are in a similar world, vibe, and use of what you're trying to launch.
The most similar things on the market to what you're making that you can find.
So we're going to look at who those competitors are. And I say competitors in air quotes because truly we're hoping that we find and we
often find
that we validate the open space that you still have, even if there are similar product categories out there in the market.
And we've talked about this before, but people are typically very hesitant to dig too deep. They don't want to scratch the surface too deep and find that they have too close a competitor.
Yep.
But that's very valuable. And the launch program walks you through why. But I also just want to mention that when we do find those things, we find the things that are not just the same product, but within the same space, like serve the same demographic, and really where your idea and your product can shine.
Correct. We will get down to what they're charging, how many SKUs they might have, meaning how many colors, how many style offerings, what that brand stands for. We did a ton of brand analysis within this space. I'll tell you, we have quite a few apparel brands that we're working with, kind of merch apparel brands. And they came in with an idea that was good. Don't get me wrong. It was good. But when we actually laid out the competitive landscape and what these other brands stand for, it was like, oh, holy shit. Like you could dominate this space. Like turns out nobody's actually speaking to what you're speaking of. So let's amplify your message even more. And truly your message becomes almost more important than the product itself. It's making sure that the product is the vehicle, but the messaging and the way that we're going to get you to market, right, all of a sudden becomes this big white space opportunity.
Right. And we'll get to that in you.
Correct. Okay. So that's really the landscape is really just like looking at, and we pull charts. I know Erin said we sit after we get the client through our intake form, then basically you get to sit back and relax. We go to work for you, but we come back with anywhere from like a 15 to 25 page deck here. Like it's a pretty robust information with charts and again, marketing positioning. So a lot of the landscape piece is a ton of competitor information, images, names, brand, what they stand for, price points. So this is kind of the data, the deep data part, I would say, is with the landscape.
Well, we'll continue with data for A, which is assumptions. And when we say assumptions, we mean cost assumptions, because that's a huge kind of black hole for new founders is what will my product cost to make? And so we take the information we get from landscape. We then build our costs, our margin, our MOQ assumptions, and we put all of that information together so that you can see, okay, if I was in this market and these were my costs and these were my MOQs, what would my product assortment look like? And start to gain an understanding about how your brand's going to come together.
And this is where our backgrounds really, I think the biggest value we bring is that we're actually going to be talking to factories on your behalf. We're actually going out and vetting factories, whether it's from our own network or if we have to go find new networks for you. We're doing some prelim conversations to gather the minimum order quantities, to gather the fabric capabilities and the overall kind of general pricing. So I want to say it's a little bit more broad stroke. Like we're not getting your formal tech pack sent out to factories and going down here. We're talking kind of bird's eye view, based on your product type, a couple assumptions. If you have a patented product, we're not sharing that information with any factory. We're talking a little bit more in generalities, but we are talking to factories.
Correct.
To understand the base materials that you are using, overall construction that you're wanting, kind of where you're going to land in this cost and minimum landscape.
Let me give you like just a random example. If you're going to launch a hat store and it's just all hats, all about hats, and you have a knit beanie and you have a baseball cap and you have a tennis visor. I don't know, I'm making this up. Like, we would generally do the research around those 3 product types so that you can see how everything comes together.
Correct.
But we wouldn't send out your actual beanie tech pack or your actual until later, which we'll talk about.
Yep. So then next is U, which is uniqueness. And this is really where we love to dig in using that landscape information and really understand your brand and product differentiators, the strategy, what is that white space, right? Is it the messaging? Is it the actual product itself?
Yeah. Is it the fabric?
Correct. Is it a more elevated version of what's in the market? Is it, no, I actually want this to be cost effective because the only thing on the market is above $100. And I found a way to get it in sub $49, right? Whatever that looks like.
Functionality.
Correct. Functionality, improving something that's already in existence. So this is where we have a lot of fun. We get a little bit of our like marketing hats put on and just knowing from our product background where we see your competitors are falling. How do you come in and dominate and own your own channel and own your own uniqueness?
Because this trickles down to, again, like, if function is the pillar you're standing on, who are we choosing to make that product that excels at function? If fabric is the pillar you're standing on, what mills, what yarns are we choosing where your fabric will be the first thing people talk about? So it truly guides us in the direction of what that production and manufacturing strategy will be.
Correct. Okay, let's go on to N. This is my favorite, because, I love selling. This is your network and distribution channel. You might hear us say this a lot. What's your distribution channel? It's really your selling channel. Like, how do you plan not only to go to market, we talk about that, but really what's the long-term vision for selling? And this is where I think we bring, as sourcing gals, a lot of 10X thinking. This is where also we have connections with these retailers, with these, distribution channels. And so we can dream big because we know it's possible, because we got the buyer's phone number, by the way. So if we end up helping you with that product piece, we also have services on the back end that are going to help you actually like make those connections. Like, we want you to win, right? So I think this is where we get to kind of dream big with our founders and say, okay, we understand for starting out, your budget might be X or Y, but we quickly want to get you to scale, because that's how it's how you build a profitable business, right? And so we're going to go through and talk about all the different opportunities to sell. We are not going to come and say, you must do this. That's never our MO. No. This is just to open your mind to the possibilities. I mean, we talked about before, we have a founder that we're working with the most amazing patented kitchen gadget, right? And when she came to us at first, it was like, well, of course I'm going to do e-com. And we're like, well, have you thought about Costco? Have you thought about Target? Have you thought about QVC? And she's like, well, I mean, maybe eventually. And I'm like, no, girl, we want you to actually launch on those platforms, because this is so innovative. We want you out there in a big way, in a big splash off the bat, so you are known and you own the space. And again, her product is so great. And between, we're helping her with the selling side as well. Like, we're there. Like, it's not a pie in the sky dream. So my point with saying this is that the distribution channels, the selling channels, this is where I think we can bring a lot of value, because we know the market, we know the landscape, we know the selling landscape, and also the margin implications.
Right. And that's what I was going to say, is that the assumptions that we make on the MOQs and the cost under the A, those come into play here as well. Because if you are starting e-com only, you might have a margin that is not the best. Or if you're starting to sell to boutiques and you have this like keystone 50% product margin, it's probably not the best. But when you amp up, when you scale up, when you go into big retail, you need to hit that margin. And so the product plan puts you in that understanding of, okay, I understand that my first bulk order is going to be here, but my third is going to be here.
Correct. And so with launch, we're helping not only show the startup, but the long game, right? We want to show you at scale, here's how you really start to make margin. Here's how you really hit those wholesale numbers at a
Because
profitable
everyone
way.
has to start somewhere.
Yep.
With their first order.
Correct.
But our goal is what's next and how to get there.
Agreed. Okay, so that's my favorite one.
That is your favorite one. If you're building a product-based business and finding yourself second-guessing decisions or wishing you had someone to gut check, we want you to know you don't have to do this alone.
On January 1st, we're opening the Sourcing Gals Founder Circle, our private community for product-based founders.
Inside, you'll get monthly Q&A calls with us, access to our templates, scripts, and tools, and most importantly, a community of founders building right alongside you.
It's only $27 a month, or for a limited time, $247 for the year. That's 3 months free. You can find all the details in the show notes. Hope to see you there.
C is capital. This is also one of my favorites. This is how all of those financial assumptions we were just talking about come together. Your mins, your cost, your margins. What are you selling it for in the market? How much will you make if you sell through at blank amount? When you sell your first PO, how much are you sitting on that you can then reinvest in a second PO or a third PO? What does that look like when you lay it on top of that network strategy we just talked about? If you are going to start out e-com only and then you want to scale to retail within Q2, that's a plan we could lay out based on how much capital you have to invest. And I think that is really kind of one of the mind-blowing pieces for a lot of people is that you think, oh, this is going to cost $1,000 or so. This is going to cost a little bit. But then looking at all those numbers on paper and being like, okay, I want all of those products. This is how much they cost. This is how much I'm going to invest. But this is how much return I can expect. And I think that it's equal parts humbling and encouraging.
And I'll say one of our founders that we're working with right now, like this part is very important for her because she is determining whether she can self-fund or has to go raise capital.
Correct.
And so the numbers we're pulling for her for launch and her go-to-market strategy and how she really wants to launch this brand, it's going to determine like literally which path she chooses coming out of it.
And it will honestly be the business plan that she takes to those investors.
Correct. And so she knows that. And so she's like, I need to make this investment to learn and understand because I need to have line of sight. I need to understand what that growth plan is, the strategy is for long term to see, again, can I self-fund this or am I going to go get some outside venture and like kickstart it in a different way?
Absolutely. Another of our clients, she is fully decided to bootstrap and she does a lot of pitch competitions because she saw the numbers. She knows what she needs to launch with. She knows what she's going to need for like her first 6 months or her first year. And that's her goal.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the H of launch. Horizon timeline, kind of your growth plan. And this goes literally from the development of how long we believe your journey might take, right, to actual bulk manufacturing lead times. So this really gives you a full scope horizon on your product life cycle.
Sure. If we get started tomorrow, when can you have bulk sitting in your warehouse or your basement?
Yep. So we build in how many sample rounds we imagine this taking. Once you have that perfect sample, how long is bulk manufacturing? What are your freight options? Are you going to air it in? Are you going to boat it? And then what that looks like, for some of our founders that are talking a much bigger scale, that timeline changes, right? It changes if you're buying 1,000 to 10,000 or 50,000.
Or another piece of this too is if you are going to launch in a smaller test capacity or e-com or social media capacity, but you do want to scale to retail, what does that look like? Because you'll need to get it in, run a test, get feedback, and then place your reorder for retail. So for a couple of folks, what we've done is done that kind of 2-step process on what the first order looks like. And then with our learnings, what does the second half of that look like?
Correct. Or if they're willing to hedge some bets, we're talking with another one of our founders about that. Like, are you buying 500 units to launch, but you're actually going to buy the fabric for your next order? We're not going to cut it yet because we don't know your size selling. We don't know, what your tops to bottoms ratio is, right? If they're selling a set, but maybe we at least get the fabric on order, save you 45 days there So then when you are ready, you've just sliced off like half of your lead time right there.
Right.
So we're helping think through those different scenarios based on how you're going to market and get you there the fastest way you can.
Yeah. And so you can tell, obviously, how passionate we are about getting all of these facts together before factory sourcing. And I, a lot of times think that founders are like, oh, well, you just like, I don't know. I don't want them to ever think we're like stalling on their product idea, but you can tell by us going through launch, like how important it is to get every single one of these ducks in a row.
Yep.
Because it impacts your next decisions and your investments and how you even approach your business from an investment strategy so much.
Yeah. And the factory piece of it as well, right? We've talked about this. There are factories that, I don't want to say thrive in low minimums, but that is their model.
Mm-hmm.
Their model is low minimums. Most likely that factory is not the same one who we want you in when you are actually ready to scale. Some will scale with you, but not always, right? So we might be having to talk to two different factories. Mm-hmm. One is your startup, and then be working with another in regards to understand like what would scale look like? Like how could we get sharper on price? So even down to the factory, the country of origin, I mean, all these things matter depending on where you're going and what your business stands for. One of our current launch clients that's in works right now, we got to a really great place after seeing their intake form. I was like, oh my goodness, like this is great information. And then once we started digging in and doing the work, we have a whole different country of origin for them now than we were starting with, like whole different pivot in a great way. And we're feeling really good about it and already working with the factory reach outs for that. And it just feels so much more brand aligned than where our conversation started, which was just over Zoom, right? By really giving Erin and myself the time to pull the landscape, see where their competitors were, manufacturing out of. Okay, like that's information, that's important information. Very. So these are all the it's a lot of little bits of information that really help paint such a better picture before you start that manufacturing journey.
Yeah, just help you like actually deliver on the expectations of your ideal customer.
Yeah. So what happens then, you go through this launch with us, right? We come back we have usually a 1 to 2 hour presentation brainstorm back where we want your feedback. Again, this is information we're passing to you. This is not a dictation of what your business now needs to look like by any means. We just want to make sure we're sharing all the opportunities. And then the goal is that we sit and discuss what feels good. What doesn't feel good? How do these numbers feel? And then coming out of launch, the goal, which so far we have a knock on wood, 100% hit rate, is that you do in fact decide to proceed forward with your product-based business utilizing our services. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where we come back with a final quote at the end of launch, which is our gold glove service, which truly means let us take over your manufacturing. Mm-hmm. Let us do the heavy lifting while you build brand, while you build marketing, while you build vision, while you build all the other things that go into running the business. Yes.
We will be your product development and manufacturing arm.
Yes. So a lot of our founders have actually decided to not only do launch, but then kind of add on fabric R&D or raw material R&D. So they're saying, hey, I want to do launch, but I also actually want you to go out and gather some samples for us. Like I want to touch and feel things. I want to know what these numbers correlate to. So that's kind of like an additional thing we layer on for those. We have quite a few that are in that phase right now with us where they said, hey, we love launch. We want the information. We want the metrics, but we also want to touch and feel some things.
Yeah.
So we can also, again, it's a very fluid, program. I'll say it's a fluid offering. Every client's coming in with a little bit of a different need.
Well, think about all of the letters and the acronyms. Some are very heavy on the L and the U, and some are very heavy on the A and the C. So it really does ebb and flow with the needs of each client.
Yeah. So, but what we have found is that coming out of it, working with these founders, like it also just sets such a great foundation for us with the founders.
For us with the founders and for the founders with anyone they talk to about their product.
Correct.
They can go to a pitch competition.
Yep.
They can go get funding. They can go to a bank. They can actually have figures in front of them and talk about what their first 6 months is going to look like in terms of an investment.
Yep. And it's fine to also, we have yet to have this happen, but I could see in the future where someone comes in and does launch with us and they say, great, go give me 3 months. most founders are very anxious and ready to keep moving forward, which is great. We love that too. But there will probably be a time where we do have some launch clients that say, great, give me 3 months. I'm going to go raise $50,000 and come back to you.
Right. Let's put a pin in it.
Yeah. Because I know that I want this distribution channel.
Correct.
That's going to require a much heftier investment.
Right. Because I want to get into Costco.
Yep.
And I'm going to have to put a 1 million unit PO out there.
Yep.
And I'm going to have to get some funds for that.
Yep. So I think, that's the fun part of launch. Every product's a little different. Every founder journey is different, but we're just so excited to dig in. And the goal is to set a solid ass foundation for these product-based businesses.
Solid foundation, because we have said this to each other. We said it to other people. I'll shout it from the mountaintops. The last thing I want in this world is to take on somebody's project and it not sell.
Yeah.
We want to position the right pricing, the right fabric, the right manufacturing and production plan, the right go-to-market strategy. We want the setup to be so solid that there's no other option than to succeed.
Correct. And we really want to be along that journey. People sometimes feel like, oh, you're in a product development agency. And I'm like, yes, but it's like a yes, but, because we want to be, yes, a yes, and we want to be your strategy partner. We want to help build this business from the bottom up and make sure that along the pivots and turns that your business will inevitably take, that we've looked ahead for you and caught those pitfalls long before you get in them, right? So when that business moves from e-commerce and all of a sudden a retailer does reach out, you're ready. You built it for that.
And I think that we talked about how long we've been in this industry, but I was just thinking about how when we were both in corporate retail, we used to have to do this exact framework, which it wasn't called launch. We made that up, TM, registered trademark. But we did this exact framework for every single product we brought to market. So I worked in accessories. I would do totes, belts, flip-flops, headbands. We did pajamas. I did winter wear. I did bags. For every new product, we went through this. Why does the market need this product? And I will show you why.
Correct. You have to, we used to have to prove every dollar we wanted, every new style, every new design color. You have to prove to your financial planner,
right?
Why last year you didn't have it? Why do you need it this year? Or why is it bigger this year than last year? Right. And so we would go through and build the business case basically.
Why are we spending $4 per sandal when we used to spend $125? Well, this one has gold beading.
Yes.
It was the 2000s, But anyway, doing it over and over and over again for a slew of different types of products and just really understanding that customer need and how the product can fill that need. And that's kind of the pinnacle of service for us, I think.
Yeah. So if this is ringing in your ears and you're like, this might be something I need to look into, reach out. Hello at the Sourcing Gals, Erin at the Sourcing Gals, Jackie at the Sourcing Gals, shoot us a DM.
We'll send you the intake form.
Send you the intake form. It, might take you, it's not overwhelming, trust me. But if you haven't thought about some things, it might take you a little bit longer. For those that have maybe thought a little bit more about it, it might be
don't rush it.
A quicker thing. But it gives us the framework to set up what would be the next step, which would be an actual call to see okay, is this right for you? Because we also are not here to just take anybody, any idea. We want to make sure that you're at a place that makes sense for an investment of launch, knowing that the goal is to eventually move you to product.
Right.
Move you to physical product, move you to PO, move you to actual true launch.
And a couple of things, because I think that people will want to know. And the price of launch varies. It varies based on what your product is, how many SKUs you have. Are you building a whole robust brand? Are you building a singular hero product? So that's the type of information we give you back after your intake. But that's just putting that out there because I think that people are going to be like, what's this about? And then secondarily is that we only take so many launch clients each month.
Yes, that is
because
true.
It is a lot of work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. And again, it's a lot of not just data pulling on our side and vision casting, but it's also factory reach out work. It's costing, it's timing. It's, so we are, recording this in June right now. We're already booking July. So, I just actually sent a reach out to one of our potential launch clients, just said, hey, you've got a couple spots left. If you want to get in, let me know. If not, we'll be pushed to August. So we're really trying to be thoughtful as well with the clients we're taking in, that they're launch ready. And that also, that we can handle the work as it's coming in. But we're really, really excited about what we're seeing, the products we're getting to dive into more. Every time I get into launch, it just makes me more excited about everybody else's product, right?
Me too.
Be like, man, yes, this has so much opportunity. Yes. And, and then again, we're giving you that information to let you go, make the magic happen and let us handle the product piece.
I think, was it last week that we were reviewing that launch doc and you were just like, fuck yeah. I was like, wow, yes. Jackie's amped.
I mean, because sometimes again, we're only taking on products where we believe kind of off the cusp, yes, there's something here, right?
Yes,
that we really see enough of a runway. But then there's some that are a little bit fuzzier for me. And then it's like, man, once I start getting that information, I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, fuck yeah.
And then the pieces start falling together.
Yeah. And then again, that runway for me, it's like the white space is like my dream zone. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. I see how it fits right in here. And they can push this into overdrive and just go start working on it. So I was very excited from last week's initial launch intake. Once all the data was pulled together, I was like, yep, we got this and they got this.
Yeah.
So,
well, we really just wanted to talk about this. On so many of our podcasts, we talk about our clients or this or that, or we give stories about people we're working with. And so we thought a deep dive into this offering because it is kind of the first step.
Yeah.
For a lot of folks would be really helpful to talk through. And if you have any questions, like Jackie said, hello@thesourcinggals.com, or Erin@thesourcinggals.com, Jackie@thesourcinggals.com. We are here and we would for sure answer the questions you have and then send you over an intake.
And I'll tell you, if you are an existing business, let's say, hey, I've already launched, I'm going forward, but I'm looking to launch a new product category, right? We can take components of this. It doesn't have to be the full launch platform if you are an existing business.
Or we've had folks before who are in business, but they know they're kind of in the wrong factory.
Yes.
Their margins aren't in a spot that allows them to grow.
Yes. And so that, again, I wouldn't necessarily put them in the launch bucket per se, but there will be components of it, right? We're going to resource. We're going to find them the right factory to work. So while launch is truly
founder focused,
startup focused, we are also, we talked about on the other podcast before, our 6-month check-in, we are working with a range of businesses that are looking to either expand into new categories, counter-source their existing, because again, it's just they think they're leaving money on the table, which, by the way, every single business we're working with that we are counter-sourcing for them, we are saving them tens of thousands of dollars for many of these clients.
There's a lot of money on the table.
Yes. So in a great way, that's going back to their bottom line, right?
Sure.
To let them keep growing. So, we're talking about launch specifically, but know that if you fall outside of that scope, we are also here to help and support with whatever your needs are. I'm excited to meet you.
Absolutely. Well, I think that wraps her up.
You know what? Last point. We do have some exciting news about a new member joining our team.
We do. Do you want to talk about it, or do we want to talk about it in the future?
I'm going to tease it a little bit. I won't give too much away, but we have a new associate joining us, and we're going to bring her on the pod.
Bring her on the pod.
Oh my God. Yes, we're going to bring her on the pod. She probably has some dirt to share too of,
oh geez,
former retail dirt. Because she has a retail.
We do like having episodes where we talk about former retail dirt.
She is a retail girly. But my point was saying that is, as the business continues to grow, Erin and I just feel so excited. We talked about the potential of her joining in a couple weeks ago's podcast, but she has officially signed the contract. She's officially given her 2 weeks notice to her big corporate job to come and join the Sourcing Gals, which is like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what is happening?
So exciting. But we're growing is my point. We're growing and we're getting to hire the most amazing talent that also wants to do this a little bit differently like we did.
I know.
It's like
I got goosebumps earlier today because one of our other new associates, like, she did something that was like exactly the way I would do it. And I was like, oh, man, that's amazing.
And then the other side of news, we just signed a lease on an office space.
We move in tomorrow.
So check out the IG if you want to be looking. We'll have some posts up. I'm sure we'll do some, our social team will do some, I say our team, we'll do some reels, probably us, but no, just kidding. We do have help with that, but we'll have some content up there about it. But again, it all just leads back to thanks to all of you who have been along this journey with us. Thanks to all of you who keep referring us.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, literally, we have not cold called anybody here. This is all by means of having an amazing cheerleading squad behind us.
And listenership, like all the amount of people who listen, who, even if they're not on their own product journey, but just like love hearing about the behind the scenes and then refer us to somebody else. Like, that's been a really big piece.
Huge piece. So we wouldn't be here without you. And again, all the love that you give us, the support you give us, and the referrals has been just amazing.
It's amazing. So we're finally we're finally talking about launch, which we've, been really building for the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And finally got to the point where we're like, we are going to shout this from the mountaintops.
Yeah. It's great. So excited. Okay. Well, it's getting late. I think I got to go do some mom things, drop off, pick up. I don't know. Also, my husband's grabbing all of our amazing furniture from IKEA. That's going to be going into our new office tomorrow. So exciting. So I'll make sure he's not having any issues with the pickup. But yeah, I'm just excited to keep hearing about more amazing products and founders that are out there doing their thing. And if they need our help, that is what we are here for.
Yep. And we can't wait to get our hands on it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you all. Until next time, we'll see you back here on The Sourcing Gals.